Arsenal are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup with a win against Port Vale. It's a 2-0 win and it's Brighton at home. We will be playing in the next round. It's an Emirates game. It's the week of October the 27th. My full reaction to that is on Goonerverse News, as is my full match report. This is a player ratings. As always, it's the second time we're running this show. We did it after the game against Man City the other day. And it's basically a chance for all of you to have your say in the comment section below, and me to just go into the players a little bit more detail, but also do a little bit of analysis on the players, a little bit of discussing in the moment. Nothing too extreme in terms of analysis, but just a little bit of a look at what I think we saw in terms of patterns, what kind of things Arteta might have tried. Is it something we might see for Newcastle on the weekend? And like I said, it's generally there to get your take. It's there to kind of get all your thoughts in the comments section as we're live, or in the comment section below after we'll be giving our player ratings. The microphone's extremely high. I don't know what went wrong there. And also apologies that I'm 15 minutes later than initially I was meant to be. I had scheduled this for 11 p.m. UK time. Anyone who's watching this after the live, it is a live, so please join us on match days. We'll be doing this after every game, either that evening or the morning after. But yeah, apologies, I was a little bit late. I was, let's say we're having teething issues still with getting this running, and I'm a little bit worried about my camera actually surviving the whole thing. But we've got a backup if things don't work out. Anyway, should we stop waffling? Should we go into the actual player ratings? This was the 11 that Mikel Arteta went with. This was the group that I think surprised quite a few people, because there were some really strong names in there. There was a group there that also lined up in a way we weren't quite expecting. So should we break that down, actually discuss a little bit of what surprised us about Mikel Arteta's approach for this game, in what was a game that, we're playing League One opposition, a side that are struggling in League One. I don't think we should have expected anything, in terms of a full strength 11, but I still think this was stronger than we perhaps expected. Let's do it. Let's talk a little bit about what surprised me about Arsenal's 11. Very surprised that Saka started. I mean, I thought he'd get minutes. I thought he'd even get some significant minutes, but I didn't think it'd be a start. I was certainly surprised to see Marino up front, and I was surprised to see this midfield three looking the way they did in Nwaneri, Norgard, and Eze. All of that really, really surprised me. In terms of the back four, pretty much what I expected. The goalkeeper too, Martinelli as well. What was really fascinating about this was I really was expecting it to look something more like this. We moved Marino, Martinelli, Eze, and Marino. I really thought when I saw the 11, this was what it was going to be. And I said this in my match report as well, that I think if this had been the 11, I would have been quite happy. We'd have got Eze more minutes out on the left. We could have seen Martinelli running the channels. He's been scoring goals. I think it would have been good to see him as a 9. We also, to be honest, we'd have seen Marino in the position that I think he's best in, the position that he played just the other day against Forest and looked quite good in. And, I like Marino. I don't think he's a bad player, but spoiler alert, I'm not going to give him a good rating today because, once again, he's not a 9. But I will say this in Mikel Arteta's defense. If I were offered before kickoff to see this, I think I know what I'm getting from that midfield three. The surprise, what would have been good to see, was Martinelli up front. But I think by seeing this combo, Marino up front, Martinelli on the left, and Eze there, I actually think, in fairness, if offered this at the beginning, if someone had said to me, no, this is how it's going to line up, I think I'd have actually picked this, because I think it's really interesting to see what Arsenal and Arteta can do with dual 8/10s. Players that can play in the pockets, players that can hopefully try and receive in those areas that we don't receive brilliantly, but there being two players, especially two players like Eze and Nwaneri, who have a lot of final third quality, who can do a lot of good, in and around, again, this area of the pitch here. Here we go, show it. I'm talking players that can hurt oppositions there. When you're looking at that, I'm thinking, okay, so what are Arsenal going to look like? The reality is we didn't look great. I mean, this is the thing. As much as this is a player ratings, we're talking about the collective as well a little bit. And I don't think we looked brilliant. I don't think we were accessing these areas of the pitch that much better. Of course, we did, though, with the goal. So how did Arsenal line up? Let's move everyone into position. Marino, Saka doing his thing, hugging the touchline. Martinelli really hugging the touchline. We didn't see him too much on the inside because it was very much Eze floating into this area of the pitch. Nwaneri, Norgard sat at the base, with Lewis Skelly alternating between. I would argue we were more like this in build-up, you know. I'd argue it was less 3-2 than it was sort of 2-3. Ben White got forward quite a bit. Nwaneri was floating all over the place, as was Eze, to be fair. At one point, I saw Eze in this area picking up the ball. And Lewis Skelly was really getting into these areas at times. We saw that with the goal when Martinelli had the ball out wide. Eze drifts into this area here. But the ball, if we just get one in play, you know, Martinelli finds that pass that Lewis Skelly leaves into Eze before he guides it into the back of the net. I mean, so we did see. Let's get the ball to Norgard there for a sec. We did see Eze in higher areas, but Lewis Skelly trying to run beyond him as well. So this is kind of a rough shape, I'm imagining, that I think Arsenal looked like against Port Vale. And like we said, we're seeing if Eze and Nwaneri can get into these areas and score goals. I'll be really honest. There were moments. There was a moment where Nwaneri had a shot from there because White got into this area of the pitch, slipped a lovely ball into him, but it was sort of deflected out wide for a corner. And then we saw the goal from Eze, but we didn't see that much from Nwaneri and Eze in those areas that you're hoping they can sort of hurt teams in when they get there. That's kind of my general look at it from like a tactical perspective. I don't think there's really much more to say. And I'm going to say this with all the respect in the one, and I genuinely mean it, because I thought Port Vale gave it a decent effort. I thought they looked, I thought they worked hard. I thought they were tenacious. I thought there were moments where they had us camped in our half. But I have to say, I did feel that this was the kind of game that tactics really were going to somewhat go out the window. And basically, you put out a sensible 11. You don't do anything stupid. I mean, I could have managed that game. I think anyone could have really sent out that group of players to do their thing. So I don't think we can read too much into anything Arsenal did tactically brilliantly to beat Port Vale. It's more a look at, did Arsenal try anything differently that we might see longer term? But my feeling is that they maybe did try things with Nwaneri and Eze, but I can't really say necessarily came off. And Arteta does seem to struggle with that. Let's just get this off screen for a second. I think Arteta does seem to struggle with actually getting that cohesion with Eze Nwaneri, as we've mentioned. We've seen it in one game, but it was against League One opposition. But when it was Smith Rowe and Ødegaard, when it was Nwaneri and Ødegaard, very rarely last season. I mean, very rarely. We want to see more of it, in fact. I'm trying to think of others. When it was Havertz and Ødegaard, that might have weirdly been the best combination because Havertz was kind of running on to play as a second striker. Either way, it's not really kind of worked for me. Even though I think it's something I'd like to see more long term. It is an approach I want to see Arsenal be able to execute. But again, who plays at the base? Is it? I mean, it's not going to be Norgard long term, but is it Zubimendi? Is it Rice? And do you need a Zubimendi to find those kind of players? I don't know. But anyway, interesting that was kind of the approach. And those are kind of my thoughts on the tactics, the 11, the way we went about it. Let's go into some player ratings now. We'll get your comments. In the meantime, actually, let's pull this off for a second while we go into your comments. I hope you are all good, guys. I see Max in the comments. Max, big up to Max, everyone who's doing amazing things on production, helping us set this up, and has also prepped a lot of great stuff in the back end to level this up even further. So big thanks to Max for everything he's doing on this channel. Show him some love and everything he's doing on many channels, guys. Max is the guy right now. He says, I really love the dynamics on the left in the first half. Felt good to see some football there finally. And yeah, I think with Lewis Skelly, Martinelli, Eze, there were definitely better combinations. We see that with the goal. And like I said, Lewis Skelly was getting into slightly higher pockets. Eze was floating. What we didn't quite see enough of was Martinelli in other areas until the second half when he was through on goal. And I think made a little bit of a mess of it, if I'm honest, but generally did okay. Good to see you, Adam. Big up. Lambo says, our play is so boring. It doesn't matter if we're playing Liverpool or Port Vale. It's not good, he's saying. Not seen it this bad since Don Howe, Arteta out. He's really not happy. James Bond saying, James, you need to sack Arteta. It's not my job. I was shocked by no other youngsters than Dowman on the bench. Yeah, I know what you mean, but, there's a squad there and he's going to use it. Nwaneri was average in my opinion, but had a couple decent moments. I thought he was one of the standout players. I really, really liked his performance. Big up James and the chat. Absolutely. Absolutely echo that, everyone. Okay, right. It's time. We've waffled on. 10 minutes in, 20 minutes to do the player ratings. So let's go through them. So as you can see, the way we do it is we go through the players here, and we'll give Arteta and the subs a rating. Throw your answers in the comments for Kepa. What do you give him? I've left my keyboard miles away, and I've got my glass of water. Let me just have a quick sip, actually. In the meantime, Kepa, what's your rating? Got 6 from Max, 6 from T, a 7, a 5. So the way I do this, guys, I say a 5 is fine. You're neither good nor bad. You kind of just got through it. A 6 is obviously, yeah, you were pretty good. 7, you were good. 8, you were very good. 9, you were great. 10, you were perfect. That's kind of how I see it. And then you can imagine the scale going downwards. I would give zeros. I would. Max Strangleman Sykes says looked good, looked okay. Some moments of shaky distribution. I'm gonna give him a 6. I'm gonna give him a 6. Like, I don't think he did anything wrong. Oh, is that working? Yeah, there we go. Don't think he did anything wrong. Yeah, maybe the odd misplaced pass. But there's no moment which I thought like we were in danger. I don't want to say he was just fine because I think he was just a bit better than that. But I can't say I was paying much attention to him. It was more everything on the ball we were doing. Happy to give him a 6 and say, yeah, a little bit better than a 5. I don't think he just kind of coasted. But yeah, it was all right from him. Let's do the back four. So Ben White. This is an interesting one for Ben. I mentioned the lovely pass he played into Nwaneri to sort of open, give him a chance on goal. But I think he was far from his best. I think he looked really sharp in pre-season, so I hope he can kind of get up to scratch quite quickly. Defending wasn't too much of a problem. It feels wrong to give Kepa a 6 and Ben White any less, so I'll give him a 6 as well. Like he was pretty good, but like nothing more. We won in the end. We won. It was a clean sheet, 2-0. Far from his best, but I don't think he kind of coasted in any way. I don't think it was just an okay performance. I think there wasn't. Do you know what? The game lacked a bit of an overlapping dynamic between him and Saka, didn't it? And I do wonder whether that's because they played with wing backs and whether this is something we might have more often. Ben White attacking this space, if being tracked by a third centre back, because they did play a back 5, right? Am I correct? I might be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure they did. I wasn't really paying too much attention to their tactics. But also when, there's not as much room on the outside for an overlap because there's not as much room on the inside for Saka to go. So I do wonder whether playing against back 5s is going to be something that kind of nullifies a Ben White threat and encourages a little bit more from central players. But yeah, I'll give him a 6. Like I think he was fine. Plenty of other 6 coming through for Ben, so we'll go with that. Now, Saliba. I'm going to give him a 6 as well. But let me just say this. Plays a brilliant, brilliant pass to Trossard and gets that assist. But I will say, was keep some sloppy passes. I don't think he was at it at all. I think he played some sloppy passes. I don't think he just doesn't look quite himself. And look, he might be playing that game in second gear. Don't think they ever looked like scoring. I don't think they ever got the better of him. And like we're talking about Saliba from like the elite level he plays at, right? And it's always hard to detach yourself, right? And go, no, we're judging Saliba for like what he has done on the pitch, not the standards he usually sets. And I was honestly, if it weren't for that pass to Trossard, I might have given him a 5, nearer a 4. I don't think you can say in a clean sheet and a win where he wasn't troubled that he was any worse than a 5. But it's that pass to Trossard that was like, that was really good, wasn't it? And Arteta described him the other day in the press conference as one of the most attacking centre-backs in the league. And I think that's what he means with that kind of pass. He's got that ability to just rake one forward and Trossard to get a goal at that. And he's done that before, Saliba. So yeah, I'll give him a 6 because it was a great pass. But it was nothing particularly scintillating from him. I think these are all for Saliba. Some mixed reactions. 5 6s, Saliba 6, Saliba 5. 6 wasn't his best today. I agree with that. Saliba 7 from Nana. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. He's just got back. He'll get that. Oh, I agree, Valera. Like, he's a brilliant player. I'm not remotely worried about William Saliba. And there is, when we talk about these players and we mention they might not have had a great game, it really is important to differentiate between whether we're actually concerned about them or not. Not remotely. He's a great player. He's a great player, just not at his 100% best, and that's okay. We need to see more passes, says YS made this, and I completely agree. We do need to see more of that from William Saliba. All right, cool. Let's go into Mosquera, who had one shaky moment. He had one shaky moment where that left-footed pass across goal was cut out, and that's when he moved to right back. For me, it's a 7 or an 8, people. And I'll let you guys twist my arm either way, but I'm looking at a 7 or an 8 from Mosquera. I think, is that Dead Certs has given it a 6? I am... Wow, it's a 5, guys. No, I was thinking nearer 8. I mean, you're pulling me down to a 7, but I thought he was great. Like, I think he showed real composure on the ball. Defended his penalty area well. Am I missing 7? Yeah, Peltzer makes a good point. 7 can't be an 8 because of the mistake that nearly led to a goal. Fair enough. 7, not quite an 8, says Noah. Looks less comfortable at right back. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think he really is a right back. Max gives it a 7. All right, so I think we're going to settle on a 7 for Mosquera. And look, I liked what he did today. Pulling out into wider areas. He had to as the left centre back. But also that's kind of where he played for Spain and Valencia. Now, when Lewis Skelly's getting right up the pitch, which he did, Mosquera has to cover a lot of this area alone and be involved in build-up. And often what he'll do is recycle the ball into his right foot and play with these angles. So it's not particularly ideal. Gabriel and a Calafiore and Nkapie are able to pick out that ball over the top with their left foot, and that won't come as naturally to Mosquera when he plays there. But Saliba is also comfortable at left centre back. So the fact that we've got, 2 players of this quality that can, cover out there in the situation where Nkapie's got an injury. We don't want to play Calafiore because of his injury history. Gabriel certainly doesn't need to be playing these games. And I know he came on. Yeah, I mean, this is a good thing. So, yeah. When I'm Mosquera, I give him a 7 and the best player we've rated so far. Okay, let's go. Yeah, and I agree with this, Valera. His passing is really good. It's actually quite surprising. I agree. His passing is very, very good. Okay, cool. Lewis Skelly did really well on the goal. Like to understand that Eze was behind him and whether he did get some kind of touch to help it on or left it, either way, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he gets as much an assist for that as Martinelli. And I'd give him a 7 as well. And guys, there are more than 7s coming, as I've just knocked my glass. Do you like this, by the way? This is my... Oh, you can't see this. Hold on. Let's remove this. There we go. Look at that. Quite cool, isn't it? Don't know why you'd care. Neat little Arsenal. It's like a stone, like basically, for my drinks. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. I just thought it'd be fun to tell you. Yeah, I give him a 7. I liked the areas he got into. Certainly times where he was floating across midfield as well. Got high up the pitch at times. Allowed Eze to be a little bit deeper. I want to see, and I need to figure this out. And someone has referenced what Jordan said on Forever Arsenal the other day as being spot on when he talks about the attacking patterns in the system. I want to see more of Arsenal playing this ball through the lines. Like, or let's really show it. When this team is condensed like this, I really, really want to see Arsenal find that ball through the lines. We don't play this pass enough. I've rewatched the Man City game, or the first half anyway, with Rohan. Go check out the Canon podcast where we did our sort of, our rewatch and our reaction to what we learned from that on rewatch. And that ball is on. Like, the players are standing in that position. Well, actually, sorry, let me rephrase. Half the time that ball is on and Arsenal don't play it. But then there are times where the space is there. That's what I'm really trying to say. The space is there. And when I say that ball is on, that space is there, and the Arsenal players should be in that position. But they turn away. They turn outwards. And Zubimendi showed in that first half that he can take a touch, turn away from a player and face forward and find those players in the pockets. Now, the reason I mention all this with Lewis Skelly is he is a midfielder converted left back. He has that pass in him. We saw it last season. We didn't see too much of it tonight. I'd like to see more of that. I really would like to see more of that from every Arsenal player in this team. I think we're capable of accessing that area better. We almost need to trust our players more and stand in those areas and trust that they're going to beat the press and be able to pick out that pass. But I'll give Lewis Skelly a 7. And you know what? I want to see him getting more minutes this season. Like I do. I think he, I don't think Calafiori is necessarily a better player. I think he's a different player. But I'm a big fan of Lewis Skelly. I want to see him getting minutes. Well, let's see what all of you. Max says, well, James, also for the next stream, maybe put the camera in a different position to bottom left, as when you bring the comments up, we can't see your face. Yeah, you're right. Dare I say I can edit that right now? I think I can. I'm going to try. I mean, look at the length I go to for you guys. Look at the length I go to. This is update layout. There we go. Well, that doesn't quite look great though, does it? Let's move this down. Look, we're doing live production on the Goonerverse for you guys. There we go. Comments there. I'm even happy to change the whole production setup. How many streamers do this for you guys? I'm happy to change the whole production setup for you. Anyway, we're 22 minutes in. I've waffled on, and we need to get through these others. I don't think there's much to say on other players. Let's go. Let's do the midfield all together. I'm going to give Norgard a 7, people. I thought he was good. I thought he did some good things in possession. I think he was combative in midfield. I liked it. I there were a few little passes. I liked Norgard's performance today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I liked what he did. And then I'm going to give Nwaneri an 8. And I'm going to give Eze an 8. And I'll tell you why. I actually think, get your comments in for these players. Let me know and I'll go through them. I actually think Nwaneri was better than Eze. But what I don't want to do is overlook match-winning moments and overlook, like, I don't want to just say, oh, he did nothing but scored. Now, I don't think Eze did nothing but score, by the way. But I thought Nwaneri was better. I think Nwaneri had the team ticking more. I think his overall 90, what he did in all facets of the game, was better than Eze. But Eze got the goal. And Eze kept us comfortable for a large part of that match because of his early goal. And it's a really well taken one. And I don't want to diminish that. I don't want to say, well, Eze was kind of a 6, but he scored. It was an 8. Like, if you get that kind of moment, I want to appreciate it. And I don't want to look down. It's why when people have been harsh on Gyökeres, I've been saying, yeah, but he scored a couple goals. I can't really say he's missing chances. And in those games where he didn't do that much, like Forest at home, but he scored, actually his hold-up play was quite good. Like, I don't want to look down too much on that. Eze as well, when he came against Man City, it wasn't a major impact he had really in terms of our overall chance creation or whatever, but he had a shot, a goal that asked question to the keeper. and he gets a brilliant assist. And these moments are going to matter. And Eze is brought in to be a moments player. He's helped salvage a point against Man City on the weekend, and he's gone and scored a lovely goal, getting into this area which we want him to. Nwaneri, like I said, there were moments where he drifted out here, and some of the 1-2s he played with people. Do you remember that? And then he sort of, just dribbled his way through to this area of the pitch, got into this area too, could have scored. There was one shot he had from in the second half. This was like the last kick of the game in this area where he sort of, darted past the player and then forced a save out the keeper. I like Nwaneri. I think he plays a real maturity. I want to see him more in the team. Top player. So yeah, I give Nwaneri an 8, Eze an 8. Rest of the team, we'll go through your comments in a sec. Rest of the team, just quickly from the starting 11. I'm going to give Saka a 6. His ball retention is phenomenal, may I say. Like, his ball retention is really, really, really good. He's so difficult to win the ball back off. But I don't think he was brilliant. I don't think he had the beating of his fullback. I don't think he created too much. I think he did fine. Won the ball back a lot. Give Martinelli the 7 because, again, he gets the assist. I'm going to give him sound harsh. I'm going to give Marino a 4. I don't think he was very good at all. There was one moment where Marino, there was a lovely bit of skill where he had the ball here and he threaded the ball into Eze, who ran in, and it was saved by the keeper. But that was kind of it. I didn't really see anything else from Marino in that game. I thought he was pretty unprogressive in his possession. Apart from that moment for Eze, I don't remember seeing too much. Can't say his hold-up play was superb. Was there kind of great skill? He did okay, but I didn't really pass to Martinelli as well. Was that Saka? Saka played the ball to Martinelli when he was through on goal. Yeah. I wasn't blown away by Marino. I was actually fairly disappointed. But again, he's not a striker. He's not a striker. He's not a 10. He's not a right 8. Left 8 people. That's where we'll see him. And we saw him there against Forest. I thought he was really, really good. Max asked, why was Marino dropping so deep? He always loves to slow down play so much. Yeah, he does. And we'll go through some of your other comments. Norgard got a 6. He was solid, so I'll give him a 7. Nwaneri 7. Eze 8. WD says Norgard 6. Eze 8. Ethan 7. I think that's generous. How many clear-cut chances did they create? Although they showed sparks and flashes of brilliance. To be fair, maybe Eze should have scored 2. He definitely should have scored another one. I agree with that. Maybe that bumps him down from an 8 to a 7, but he did score. I agree with this. I love the work rate from Eze and Ethan, even though they are more attack-minded players. I agree with Peltzer on that. And a few more 8s coming in for Eze. Marino's the worst player on the pitch by far. I think I agree with that, and the ratings sort of support that as well. Okay, let's go into the rest of the team because I do want to give a couple minutes on Max Dowman. In fact, no, to do that, I need to get the rest of the squad up. So Gabriel came on at centre-back, didn't he? Dowman came on at right wing. Gyökeres came on up front. Should we pull the others off? No, I think I'll leave them on so that everyone can see the ratings all together. Trossard came on the left. And Rice came on, left 8, I think. Yeah. So we'll put him there. And then we'll have Arteta on the touchline. Okay, let's go through them. Let's give them all a rating. There are subs, so we can fly through this quite quickly, really. Gabriel, do you know what? I'll give him a 6. Did some good defending. Like I thought he was good. Dowman, I still want to say a few words on him. I'm gonna give him a 7. I'm gonna give him a 7. Now, I think it could have been an 8. And you know what? For the context of being a 15-year-old coming on and doing what he did, probably deserves an 8. But that ball he played when he chipped it in behind like that to Gyökeres, that was really, really good. That's the kind of run Gyökeres wants. He wants to be off the shoulder, peeling off. I thought that pass from Dowman, scooped past, that was brilliant. There was a little flick on the touchline too. I didn't feel his dribbling was at the level we'd seen in pre-season and when he came on against Leeds. But did some really, really, really nice things. And that pass to Gyökeres was sensational. He looked class. So I'm going to give him a 7. We'll go through your ratings again. But I'm going to give him a 7 for that. Rest of the team, Gyökeres, I'm going to give a 5. I think he looked okay. Probably should have scored. So he was fine, really. Trossard, I'll give an 8 because of his goal. Really, really well taken. Really great touch. Really great finish and goal. Give Rice a 5 because he didn't really do much. And Arteta, look, I guess you've got to give him a 7. I mean, we won today. Got some minutes in the legs of Saliba, Saka, Dowman got on the pitch. Got to see Nwaneri and Eze in the 10 spots. Do you know what, actually? No, I'm not going to give Arteta a 7. I'll tell you why I'm not going to give him a 7. I'll bump it down to a 6. Because it was a win. Maybe even a 5. I'll give it a 6. It was a win. And I largely agreed with what he did with the 11, except for Saka maybe playing 15 minutes more than I'd have liked. But we weren't great today. Like, let's also be clear about that. Like, if we're talking from a coaching perspective, you know, there was nothing that impressive about Arsenal really today. It was just solid, kicking it down the road, and we'll deal with Brighton next round, hopefully. We weren't good. We were fine. And if that's reflective on the manager, then do you know what I mean? I don't really. But we went through, guys, and it was pretty comfortable. And at no point did I think we weren't going through. The standouts for me and the things I really enjoyed tonight were Mosquera at the back, Nwaneri, Eze's goal, Trossard's goal, Dowman coming on. Not much. I wish we had a 5 or 6 and talk about with lots of goals. Gyökeres coming on, scoring, Saka, stat padding a little bit. That would have been nice. I don't really think we got that. We just got a sensible win in the Carabao Cup. And that's pretty much it, everyone. Those are my ratings. Have a little look there. Hit the pause button if you want to look at them in more detail. Just want to say a big thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Seeing this from Aid, who says, not gonna lie, this analysis setup you've got, bro, sick content. Love this analysis setup. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I do. I think it's something different to what's out there at the moment. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, and we'll be doing these after every game. Max says, don't forget to leave a like. People helps a lot. It absolutely does. And do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. I would love to know your thoughts on this kind of content, on what you'd like to see more of on the Goonerverse. But we're going to be able to do a little bit of this more kind of live analysis with player ratings together after game. So hopefully you all enjoy it. And like I said, this will be coming after every game, either the night of a night game, or the morning after, or certainly if it's a day game, then later that day. I think that's pretty much it. Most people agree with my thoughts, so we'll leave it there. A big thanks, everyone. Really, really appreciate you all tuning in. If you're watching this later, if you're not watching this live, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below as well. My reactions to everything else on Goonerverse News, so go check that out there. All right, big thanks, everyone. We'll catch you in a bit.